Angelique origin story explained. Hellraiser's demon princess of pain. Welcome to Movie Creepers. Before she became the seductive, twisted Cenobite we meet in Hellraiser, Bloodline, Angelique was something far more dangerous, a princess of the Labyrinth and daughter of Leviathan, the godlike entity at the heart of hell. Unlike the other Cenobites, who are transformed humans, Angelique started as something far older and darker, a demon of high rank, summoned to Earth through blood, betrayal, and the box. Her story is one of manipulation, loyalty, rebellion, and punishment. This is Angelique's origin story, her transformation into a Cenobite, and how her fate intertwines with the cursed bloodline of Le Merchant across centuries. If you find this helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to stay updated with our latest content. Summoned through sin, the 18th century ritual. In 18th century France, a master toymaker named Philippe Le Merchant is commissioned to build a peculiar puzzle box, the Lament configuration. He thinks it's just an elegant, mechanical marvel, but the man who commissioned it, the wealthy occultist Duc de Lisle, has far more sinister intentions. With the box completed, de Lisle and his assistant Jacques use it in a grisly ritual. They murder a young woman and peel just enough skin to satisfy the dark rules of hell. A vessel with minimally damaged skin is required to host the demon they're summoning. That demon? Angelique. She appears in her human form, beautiful, poised, and haunting, but she's no servant to be trifled with. As a princess of the Labyrinth, Angelique is bound to whoever summoned her, but she has a will of her own, and Jacques sees that potential. Not long after her summoning, Angelique and Jacques conspire to kill de Lisle. The student overtakes the master, with Angelique as his dark accomplice. But their power play isn't over. When Philippe Le Merchant returns, hoping to reclaim the box and stop the horror he unwittingly helped unleash, Jacques orders Angelique to kill him, and she obeys. The bloodline of Le Merchant becomes forever cursed. Angelique's human form and seduction of power. For more than 2 centuries, Angelique remains on Earth in her human form, immortal, beautiful, and ageless. Though bound by the ritual that brought her forth, she retains a haunting allure and an intelligence far beyond that of any mere servant. During this time, she's under the command of Jacques, the man who helped summon her in the 18th century. With Angelique as his secret weapon, Jacques has lived unnaturally long, using her demonic presence to accumulate power, wealth, and influence behind the scenes. But Angelique grows tired. Her loyalty was born of compulsion, not respect, and her patience with Jacques is wearing thin. By the time the 1990s arrive, the world has changed, but Jacques has not. When she learns that the modern-day descendant of Philippe Le Merchant, a brilliant New York architect named John Merchant, has unknowingly built a skyscraper shaped like the Lament configuration, she sees opportunity. The building's design is more than coincidence, it's a subconscious echo of the puzzle box that doomed John's ancestor. Angelique realizes the tower could become a permanent, massive gateway to hell, something far greater than anything she's seen in centuries. But Jacques, fearful of losing control, forbids her from pursuing John. That's his final mistake. Recognizing him as a weak and obsolete relic of the past, Angelique kills Jacques, liberating herself after centuries of manipulation. For the first time since arriving on Earth, she is truly free. Now driven by her own will, Angelique travels to New York with a single goal: seduce, deceive, and manipulate John Merchant into finishing what his bloodline started. If successful, her building will become the largest Hellgate ever constructed, and the real nightmare will begin. Angelique is no longer just a servant of hell. She is its architect. Meeting Pinhead, the new order of pain. But things don't go according to plan. Angelique brings a victim to solve the puzzle box inside the building, expecting reinforcements from hell, her kind, her rules. But instead, Pinhead emerges. And with him, a new ideology. While Angelique embodies temptation, seduction, and the corruption of desire, Pinhead represents order, structure, and eternal suffering through pain. The two demons clash not physically, but ideologically. Pinhead tells Angelique that hell has changed. Her tactics of manipulation and seduction are outdated. His way is control through chains and agony. Still, they find common ground. Both want the gateway open, so they decide to work together, Angelique as the lure, Pinhead as the enforcer. twins, chains, and resistance. With Angelique and Pinhead now allied, if uneasily, they begin their terrifying campaign against John Merchant, the modern architect unknowingly standing at the center of Hell's grand design. Their goal is clear: force John to complete his skyscraper in a way that will transform it into a permanent, open gateway to Hell. To exert pressure, they begin their assault with horror. Two unsuspecting security guards become their first victims. Angelique and Pinhead mutilate them, fusing their bodies into one of the most disturbing Cenobite creations to date, the Siamese twin Cenobites. Sharing nerves, thoughts, and agony, the twins become a grotesque symbol of Pinhead's vision of unity through suffering. But the psychological torment doesn't stop there. To truly break John, they target what he values most: his family. The monstrous Chatterer Beast, a feral, animalistic Cenobite, is unleashed to kidnap John's wife and young son. With his loved ones held hostage and death looming on all sides, John is faced with an impossible choice: finish the building and doom the world, or resist and risk losing everything. But John is not without a plan. Drawing on his knowledge of the Lament configuration and his bloodline's tragic history, John tries to outmaneuver them. He attempts to trap the Cenobites, hoping to turn their own portal against them. And for a moment, it seems he might succeed. But Pinhead is ruthless. In a shocking act of vengeance, he sends a chain hurtling through the air, decapitating John before he can see his plan through. The bloodline appears severed. Yet in his final moments, John inspires resistance. His wife, driven by desperation and love, uses the building's systems and the puzzle box to banish all 5 Cenobites, including Angelique, back to Hell. The gate closes, but the war isn't over. Punishment. From Demon Princess to Cenobite. Back in Hell, Angelique faces judgment. She failed. Not only did she let the bloodline of Le Merchant live, she allowed Pinhead to take command. For this failure, she's punished by the one force above them all, Leviathan. Angelique is forcibly transformed from her elegant human form into a Cenobite, her face now masked with filigree scars, metallic restraints adorning her skull, and her body reshaped to serve. The once proud demon princess, who could seduce, command, and manipulate kings and sorcerers, is now one of many in Leviathan's army. But her mind remains sharp, her will unbroken, and her story isn't over.
Thank God for men of reason.
Final chapter. Space Station minus 2127. Centuries pass. The curse of the Le Merchant bloodline continues. In the year 2127, on a remote space station orbiting Earth called Minus, a descendant named Dr. Paul Merchant devises a plan to end it once and for all. He lures the Cenobites, including Pinhead and Angelique, onto the station using a modified version of the puzzle box, the Elysium configuration. Angelique, now fully Cenobite, is part of this final incursion. She watches as one descendant after another tries to escape the curse her summoning started. But this time, Paul is ready. Using the station systems, he activates the Elysium configuration. The space station itself transforms into the ultimate puzzle box, using light and architecture to seal the gateway to Hell permanently. In one final explosion of radiant energy, Paul sacrifices himself to destroy the Cenobites, the gateway, and the curse forever. Angelique, the princess of the Labyrinth, is no more. Conclusion. Angelique's legacy. Angelique is one of the most complex characters in the Hellraiser universe. Unlike Pinhead, who started as a man and became a demon, Angelique began as a demon, and her arc is about losing autonomy, identity, and freedom. She was a seductress, a manipulator, and a master of deception. She understood human desires better than any other Cenobite, but her greatest strength, free will, was what got her punished. When she obeyed, she thrived. When she rebelled, she was broken. But Angelique's story also reveals something deeper about Hellraiser. Hell isn't just about chains and torture. It's about ideology, control, and the price of defiance. From Parisian mansions to corporate towers to space stations, her presence helped shape the saga of the Lament configuration. And though her story ended in flames, her legacy remains carved in every scar and scream of the Hellraiser mythos. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Angelique's tragic transformation and long history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep lore breakdowns from the Hellraiser universe and beyond. Who do you think had the most tragic fate, Angelique or Pinhead? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hell never forgets its children. And Angelique, she was royalty.